Dun, 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 ba-da-ba-da-da-da, we are number one. Hey! I'm gonna be for real honest right now. I'm a little sick to my stomach right now, and I'm not sure why. So, hopefully Geometry Dash makes it feel better. This is the wrong Geometry Dash. I meant to open my downgrade because sometimes it crashes from start pause on the normal version. So, come on. Open Sesame. Okay. I'm not gonna immediately start with AETHER because I gotta warm up. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Bro. I'm really shit at the wave today, and I don't know why. We're at the sex number. It was also attempt to 69. That's also funny. Bro, can I stop? Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Why did I feel so, like, not ready? Like, I got halfway through that wave and I was like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't know why I felt like that. No, bro. That's so stupid. I was really hoping I wouldn't die to that from 0. Fuck. I was like this close to having an attempt at the swing copter. I'm a little pissed at myself for that. It's very avoidable. I was actually locked in that time. I wasn't like, ah, fuck. Bro, fuck off. You know, I'm playing like shit today. Yeah, I'm not gonna get mad about it. I mean, I just kind of got mad about it, but I'm not gonna get mad about it again. But, you know, I'm kind of playing like doo-doo garbage today. Not really getting anywhere at all. Fumbling every time I do get somewhere. Yeah, this is a pretty bad session so far. Maybe I'll turn it around. I don't know. I'm kind of playing like piss. Fuck off! My fucking finger locked. Okay, I said I wouldn't get mad. From now on, I'll try not to get mad. I'm not actually gonna say I won't get mad, because that was actually low-key deserved. That was really, really stupid. I should not have died there. I should not have died to that. Bro, please. Bro, why is my game lagging? My game is stuttering like shit right now. What the fuck? Please. Like, holy shit. Salutations, vegetable soup. How you doing? You're my first viewer this stream. Congratulations. I've been streaming for an hour and a half, and you're my first viewer. Oh. Yeah, so today's session isn't very great. In fact, today's session isn't very good. I've gotten 0 attempts past the wave. And I'm kind of not really getting anywhere. You been doing anything? Anything like interesting happening? Not really too much, just been living your life. Good to hear, if it's not too boring. Oh, I hate it when I die to that, because it's very, very avoidable. I'm alright. For right now, it might actually be affecting my gameplay right now, but my stomach hurts a little. I'm having some tummy aches, I guess. I don't know. They're mild, but I don't know. I felt a little queasy this whole stream. That's really the only thing of note. This has been kind of a nothing stream so far. Your weekdays usually range from average to but today was pretty good. Nice. I'm on break right now, so I'm not having normal weekdays. I'm basically having weekdays. where I don't really have to do anything except, you know, grind a geometry dash. Break is nice. I'm really hoping I can beat this by the end of it. Originally, it didn't seem like I was even close to that, but then I got 81 and 25 to 100, and now, I mean, yesterday at least, I was really consistent with the wave. I was really consistent with everything up until the last spider, and I was pretty consistent with the last spider too. So I feel like yesterday, if I just grinded it out, I could have beaten it. I'm not even lying, but today I'm just kind of playing a little bit like ass. If I had to break already, I'm in my April break right now. I get a grand total of 9 days, including weekends, to myself, which is nice. I have 4 left after today, which means I'm more than halfway through, which is a little sad, but I still have some time left that I can choose not to waste. Yeah, really, this is my last break before summer. Like, summer break. So I just gotta get through May. And then half of June, and then I'll be out. I will have months to do whatever I want. Yeehaw, howdy he. Yeah, me neither. Yep. It is April what? April 22nd. Oh, what? What just... Did I just accidentally swap my start positions? What the hell? Oh, you can do that with numbers. Weird. Okay, and this is on the actual original copy, so that's actually pretty weird. Bro, can I please, dude? What am I doing wrong? fuck off. I hate that, dude. You want to see someone? If I show hitboxes, I died as a cube. That is a bug. $75 drop attempts. You know, I am definitely excited for summer. Because it will mean 0 expectations, 0 anything. Literally just the world bends to my will. Which is very nice when you're still in grade school. Which is a very nice privilege you have when you're in grade school, because you lose it as soon as you become an adult. Like a full-fledged adult. Chair's sliding. Because I'm pretty sure once you have like a job and you're like out of like, especially once you're like out of college and everything, like you still get like scattered breaks, I think. Like you still get certain points where you don't have to like do your job, but there's no more like giant multi-month long, you know, freedom. Is the definition of living to work and working to live. So I can't say I'm excited for that. Nice. We love that. You don't think you're going to be doing much for summer, so that's going to be nice. I think there are times where I really want to spend summer doing something, and it disappoints me when I, like, spend most of it doing nothing. And there are other times where I really want summer to just be a calm, like, 2 months of just relax, just nothing, just chill out. And yeah, usually, oftentimes, those times are the ones where I have, like, you know, things to actually do during the summer, so we're gonna see. Me too, I do also need a fucking break. It's been a long-ass year. Last school year I did fucking terrible. Wasn't proud of myself at all, but this time I've pulled it together and I'm exhausted. I just, like, no break has been long enough so far. I just gotta keep telling myself, like, one more month. Just one more full month of this shit. And then we're on to the last. We're on to the home stretch. 2025 was pretty awful, and 2026 is shaping to maybe be a bit better. You would say it's going better so far. 2025 was a mixed-ass year for me. I mean, first half, I would agree, it definitely sucked for me. The first half of 2025 was pretty bad. But the second half, I pulled it together. Because first half, I was still in my previous school year. And that school year, I kind of completely fucked myself over. So the first half definitely sucked. Summer was great. I didn't do anything for summer, and it was one of the times where I wanted to do stuff. But yeah, second half of 2025 was pretty fine though. I enjoyed getting into the new year with a fresh mind, and like having learned why I made so many mistakes in the previous. So stop dying to that. Yeah, I'm literally the same. I'm the exact same. Like, I've been so stressed. Like, it's not as bad, nearly as bad as I was stressed as I was at, like, the last year. Because that year I actually had, like, a genuine problem. Like, I was doing shit. I was just in a really bad place. It's a miracle I managed to get to where I am now. Because right now, yeah, I'm stressed the fuck out. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah. Schoolwork sucks, and yeah, deadlines are shitty. But, you know, I'm doing okay. I don't need to hold on for that much longer. As long as I just keep remembering to get shit done. And I do my best, like my absolute best not to procrastinate, I should be okay. Because I've made it this far without a scratch. I should be able to finish the circuit, hopefully. You're doing a lot better mentally than you were last year, and you're proud of yourself for still trying and pulling through. Yeah, honestly, I feel the same way. Like, I was a fucking mess last year. Like, the beginning of last year and all of 2024. 2024 was probably my worst year. I fucking hated 2024. Like, COVID sucked. Don't get me wrong, 2020 and 2021 were rough years, but 2024, man, that was a fucking diabolical calendar year for me. It was really difficult to get through everything that time. Like, I would have, in 2024, I would have considered myself, probably not suicidal, but, I don't know. If, like, I was threatened with death, I wouldn't care. That was my main thing. Because just generally, my life sucked. Not because of my circumstances, but just because I had screwed up. I had screwed up everything. I got a good hand. I'm not gonna lie. I got a good hand, but you know, I wasted everything in 2024, and I still have some consequences from it. Like, Some of them are even in GD. Like, I'm not gonna say all of them because, like, you know, it's personal life stuff, and I try to, like, you know, not, like, spill my guts with that. But my mental health in 2024 definitely affected my GD performance. I don't think I've ever been, like, fully suicidal either. I just had a point where, like, I wasn't just afraid of, like, you know, normal death, like, once it inevitably happens. I wasn't the thing was, I wasn't at all, like, afraid of premature death. Like, I noticed myself in situations that were pretty dangerous, like, you know, I crossed the street a little too slow and, like, you know, almost get hit or whatever. Like, you know, normal moments in life that are, like, maybe a little closer than normal. And, like, I noticed in those moments normally where I would be, like, maybe a little spooked, I just did not care at all. Yeah. My problem, yeah, I definitely feel that. I'm sorry, that sucks. Self-esteem issues really suck. I didn't have as much self-esteem problems. Like, I kicked myself a lot. I hated myself a lot, but not like to the degree where I would call it self-hatred. My problem was more like anxiety, right? Like self-critical, overly self-critical and anxiety. It was less about, like, I hate myself. It was more about, God, why did I do that? That was such a fuck up. And I would just, in the time I would spend grieving over a mistake, I would make another mistake. And it was an endless loop. Yeah, it's like you become your own chastising agent. Like, you police yourself for every little thing you get wrong, and for the things you actually do get wrong, it gets really difficult, because you end up criticizing yourself the same amount for every single thing. At least this is how it was for me. And, like, when you have actually really tiny things that don't matter, you get way too upset about them, and when you have really big things that do matter, like, you just don't understand enough or, like, feel anxious enough to learn from it. Like, I had a lot of trouble learning from mistakes back then. Like, I would make the same ones over and over again. So yeah, 2024 fucking sucked. But as I said, it affected my performance in GD. There was a reason why I struggled so much with Bloodbath. It was the year where I was at my worst with that level, by far. Like, it wasn't strictly about GD motivation. Like, I'd say it was like 75% my struggles with Geometry Dash motivation, but hold on. Because, like, solving that only solves 75% of the problem. Because the other 25% was just my general mental health. Like, the amount of stress I was under. The fact that I had fucked myself over so bad that, like, I had taken my normal expectations and cranked them, like, to tenfold. And I constantly was, like, in this pit of despair of, like, I can't fix myself. I'm stuck. I don't know how I can resurface from this. Eventually, I went to therapy, and I got my shit together, and I started organizing, and I started, like, you know, figuring out how to rack my thoughts and get shit done. And it worked out. The stuff I learned at therapy has majorly benefited me in this year. Like, I've learned so much. So I'm not in a perfect position right now. I have things I'm not happy about. I have things I dread. I have things I'm definitely not looking forward to. I have things that make me sad, things that make me feel anxious. and upset. But, you know, nowhere near as bad as I was in 2024, which is, I think, an accomplishment. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not something I should be proud of, but yeah, at least I'm not as bad as I was 2 years ago. Yippee. I think a lot of the reason for your self-esteem issues going better was just presenting yourself and presenting as yourself more, mostly online. Should be proud of the pro. I appreciate that. Yeah. And then to an extent I am. I'm just glad I'm in a better position. I don't entirely feel like it was like my own volition that I got here, like my own like commitment. Because like so many people help me, and that sometimes hurts a little to think about, but yeah, I'm glad I improved enough as a person to like exist in society where people my age should be. But like, I think the thing is, you know, as you were saying, a lot of the reason you're, yeah, I feel like people say a lot, just be yourself or whatever, and that's a hard thing to do. I mean, when people just say that shit, they don't understand how it's like actually difficult to be yourself when you have like, you know, pressure to be something you're not. When you have pressure to be something you're not, like everyone says, like, oh, just choose not to be that. But when like you socially like eat yourself out on the inside, whenever you don't act that way, like it becomes very hard to just, you know, be yourself, because it's a very valid fear to like, you know, be afraid that people don't like the real you. So I think overcoming that is an accomplishment. Yeah, it's just, it's not that easy. And like, you know, when it comes to like the social side of things, where you may like you fuck up over and over again, and it's really hard to self-correct, and people say stop embodying this fake version, it's like, it's just, it's difficult. You had and still sort of do have a problem with masking yourself. Yeah, and that was more of a problem like in 2023 for me. Like if you look at my old videos, I was like, this is actually like there's a great example of this on YouTube. If you look at my old videos in 2023, like, you know, the extra wide streams, or, you know, even the Scarlet Pulse streams, like really early GD content on this channel, or on my channel. Like, I did this thing where, like, I felt very new to the internet, so, hold on. I made extra sure to be careful about, like, what I said. Never to appear as, like, I actually tried my best to appear, like, the least amount as human as possible. Because, you know, if I didn't act human, then I couldn't expose all my problems and my shortcomings. And I realized that was an excellent way. Like, if I just said, like, you know, if I didn't act like a sensible human and I just said, like, the most normal shit, like, I laugh whenever someone says something they think is funny, I acted the way people wanted me to act, is what I'm saying. I'm bad at putting it into words, but I masked myself a lot to just make myself seem more, I guess, I don't know, appeasing, less, like, loud, and, like, you know, that got me a decent reputation with the internet, but it made it a little more difficult to make real friends. I had a lot of people in my chat who, like, you know, really wanted to like connect with this streamer who I just couldn't connect with because I was putting on a facade. You're coming to realize that you weren't acting the way people wanted you to act, but the way you thought people wanted. Yeah, that's a fantastic point. I think our perception of the way people look at us is like naturally flawed. It's impossible to read what other people are thinking because obviously we're not mind readers. And if like, you know, if you're neurodivergent like me, I don't know if I'm like autistic or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think I'm like entirely normative. I don't think I'm what's the word? Neuro something. Like the word for like, you know, being the norm. Like I don't feel like I'm there, and for people who aren't like fully like, you know, who aren't like social warriors who like get every social cue, like it's always really, really hard to tell what people think of you. And in those moments, like it's really hard to like orient your decision making to just be normal, like nothing happened, or try to appeal to what you think they want, which is often very different from what they want. You're lucky if it isn't. Neurotypical, that's what I'm looking for, yep. There's a huge chance you're neurodivergent, but you don't want to self-diagnose or anything. Exactly, that's my thing. I'm not in a position where I can get tested. But I mean, like, I have things that point me towards thinking I'm on the spectrum. I have things that point me towards having ADHD. There are a plethora of, like, different cognitive conditions I think I could have. But I'm not going to, like, officially say I have them. Like, all my, like, IRL friends say, oh, yeah, no, you're definitely autistic or whatever. But, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to, like, say I am because I don't actually have proof. But as soon as I can get tested, I'm going to get tested just so, like, I know. Not for any, like, actual reason, but just so, like, I know this thing about myself and I can, like, you know, think about it when I'm in situations where I just think, why? Why do I act like this? And I can just go, oh, because, you know, because I have that. I feel like, yeah. But I'm not going to self-diagnose, like you said, because that's often inaccurate, and that's something people do a lot to, like, you know, get sympathy. Like, they say, I'm self-diagnosed autistic, and I'm practically bedbound, or whatever. Like, sympathy farmers, and it's, I don't know. I'm not saying all self-diagnosed people are like that, obviously. I'm saying, like, a few of them. And in my circumstances, if I self-diagnose, like, I don't think it would be very accurate. Bro. A friend you have with ADHD told you, yeah, you definitely have ADHD, and was surprised when you said you weren't diagnosed with anything, so yeah, there's a chance by not self-diagnosing. Exactly. Me personally, I have many friends who are just like that, who are, like, neurodivergent themselves in many different ways. Like, I have several autistic friends, I have several friends with, like, severe ADHD. And, like, you know, I think, like, I'm gonna say it. I think I have ADHD, and I think there's a chance I have autism. But I'm not gonna, like, say anything. I'm not gonna say, like, I have ADHD. I'm willing to say I think I have ADHD. But I'm not gonna say I have ADHD, because, like, until I'm diagnosed, I don't. I basically don't. Fuck off. You think you have ADHD and you might have autism, but you don't know. Yep, pretty much the same. That's really the boat I'm in summed up. Yeah, I wish I knew more about myself. I feel like my mind is a void where I have to look for answers. Or I have to, like, you know, look outside of it to actually learn. Because if I don't, I just end up in this cycle of, like, misunderstanding myself. And that sucks. But, you know, my current solution is I just say I'm neurodivergent. Like, the only thing I probably, like, okay, I guess this is another category which I can't necessarily put myself in, but I think I'm neurodivergent too. I don't know. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm neurodivergent, but I'm not gonna, like, just say it. Like, maybe what I'm feeling is exactly what being neurotypical feels like. But I'm not, it's just I'm not in, like, other people's heads, so I just don't know what, like, either is exactly like. I don't have, like, categories to attach these, like, feelings to. You mean genderqueer? I need to refresh myself on the definition of queer. Hold on, because I'm an idiot. I know it means, like, questioning, but I forget if it's, like, strictly about gender or if it's also about, like, sexuality. Oh, you're just saying you identify as LGBTQ. Alright. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm queer. Like, I put he, they in my pronouns, which technically makes me demigender, but I just do that because I can. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it doesn't actually make a difference to what people call me. I don't actually know if I'm in the LGBTQ boat. At one point, I thought I was bisexual. At one point, I thought I was pansexual. Right now, I have no clue. I'm figuring shit out. I have no clue where I'm at. What? Yeah, I mean, really my most queer trait is I don't want to, like, conform to society's depiction of what a man is supposed to be. Like, I want to be able to be strong without being, like, hyper masculine. Like, I don't like the fact that being muscular is, like, a masculine trait. I think all people should be allowed to be buff or skinny or whatever without being, like, assigned necessarily to a gender role without their choosing. I think that's stupid. I think people should be able to choose what gender they conform to or what, you know, who they want to be. I don't think that's society's choice. You thought you were pan because you liked everyone equally, and then you found out that you didn't like anyone, and you were a hero ace. Cool. I have a friend. In fact, I think you know Bonnie. Yeah, I think I met you from Bonnie's chat, if I'm not wrong. But Bonnie, at one point, thought she was Arrow Ace. And now she is trans. And I believe pansexual? Or something else. I don't actually know. So yeah, people, like, go through changes with that stuff. But Yep. Oh, just to, like, make sure, are your pronouns, like, he or she or... I know trans femme doesn't necessarily mean, like, changing pronouns, so I'm just, like, asking to make sure. Because trans femme can also mean trans gender. It just doesn't have to mean that. Just to, like, make sure I, like, refer to you correctly and all that shit. Because I don't want to, like, misgender anyone. She, they. Alright, got it. Yeah, demigender I think is a weird label. I don't know. It makes me feel weird when I call myself that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what demigender even entails. I just put it in my pronouns because it's basically, like, you can still, like, he, him is still a preferred pronoun. They, them is still a preferred pronoun. Like, for me, he and they are, like, equally, like... So, like, I don't know exactly what it means. Because, like, it could mean, like, you want to be called they instead of he, but... Then you call yourself they, he, or they, she. Not he, they, or she, they. So I'm kind of confused on what exactly it means. It's one of the more complicated definitions in the LGBTQ atmosphere. Yeah, there are another LGBTQ definition I don't know is like the pronoun zer. I don't know exactly what the gender associated to that is, if there is one. So I'm not like fully educated on everything. Like I know the basics. Like I know what all the letters stand for. But like in the full version, like LGBTQIA+, I'm pretty sure the I stands for intersex, and the A stands for asexual or aromantic. You don't remember what you saw, but a good quote is, labels are meant to fit you, you're not made to fit them. Yeah, that is based. I low-key definitely major league agree with that. You know, I think the fact that, like, society and, like, weirdo, like, conservatives want to push on you the whole, like, these are the genders, you must be them, or whatever. Like, obviously, that's the dumbest shit ever. Because you're supposed to, I gotta be quieter, but, they're supposed to, like, you know, they're supposed to, like, you know, be the definition of, like, what you identify as, or not what, like, society has selected for you, because that's just not how it should work. And if we have, like, a place where freedom of thought is a real thing, and freedom of, like, expression is a real thing, and we're not living in, like, a fascist dictatorship, which we kind of are right now, which is pretty disappointing. But in this situation where we're not, we shouldn't be forced to, like, conform to a pronoun just because of, like, a definition. Yeah, why do like people... I don't like how trans people are always brought into stuff. Just because, like, why do people's identities have to be political? Like, why can't someone just identify as something and it, like, so, like, I swear, it is, like, it is immeasurable how, like, angry it makes me when someone, like, says their pronouns or, like, talks about being trans, and, like, someone says, how about we stop being so political, or whatever, or someone says, like, like, someone's supposed to be, like, educating someone about trans stuff, like, a health teacher, like, for example, like, well, imagine if a health teacher is, like, asked, are you going to teach about LGBTQ, and they say something like, I would, but I don't want to get things super political. Like, those represent, like, the pathetic people who, like, don't have the courage to actually, like, you know, represent people who just want to be themselves. You're not out to anyone in real life, only out to some places online. I think the people who tell people to just come out or to, like, reveal things about themselves that they're not comfortable with, like, just get it over with, come out. I think those people are stupid. I think you should make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're, like, you know, not sharing anything you don't feel comfortable sharing. I think that's a basic human thing. A human right that should be given to everyone. So, yeah. If you don't want to tell people in real life ever, that's totally fine. If you, like, want to wait for a while and then maybe tell them when you're an adult, or, like, fully, like, out of school, that's fine too. Like, you know, there are a bunch of different choices, and yeah, I feel like it's not up to people who just want, like, shit to change, shit to go down, like, yeah, go tell them, or whatever. Go reveal this thing about yourself. Like, no. Nice. Yeah, I like it when I have, like, you know, supportive teachers and stuff. Like, I like it when I walk into a classroom and, like, one of the first things asked is, like, you know, like first day of school, and, like, one of the first things asked is, what are your pronouns? Like, I want that to be a normal, conventional part of, like, asking your name. Because people shouldn't, like, know your gender just based on your appearance. Because appearance and gender and sex are three different things. Three things that can be connected, but aren't necessarily. Which are automatically separate, but can be connected if you wish. So, like, you can have someone who's a trans man, but maybe considers themselves a trans man, like, goes by he, him, and maybe wears a skirt, maybe, I don't know, still dresses like a woman. Like, they're different things, and they shouldn't be, like, necessarily attached to one another. And I like it how, like, pronouns can, like, differentiate that, and I think it's, like, a really important structural piece of, like, social interaction that shouldn't be discarded. And I think the schools who don't teach it because they don't want to, like, you know, like, violate America or whatever the hell they say now, yeah, I think those schools can go to hell. One of the first things you were asked was your pronouns and your closeted ass. It's just like, yeah. Yeah, I've never experienced that, because, like, I've never been trans. I've never really experienced actual, gender dysphoria, which I don't want to say I'm lucky not to have experienced, but I don't know. I'm glad I feel comfortable with who I am. Because it sounds like, you know, questioning who you are for long periods of time can be very hard. So part of me is glad I don't have to do that, but then again, I have no, like, you know, and I'm not saying like, yeah, blah, but I have had experiences where like the whole he, they thing has gotten in the way, and people have asked, okay, what are your pronouns? And I struggle whether to say he, him, and just make this like social situation like more simple, and because like it's basically the same thing, and it'll just mean the person gets less confused, or to say the pronouns I list in all like my YouTube bios and stuff, he, they, just because why not? Because like they are my pronouns or whatever. And in those situations, it can be confusing because like if I say the actual things I identify as, then like it can confuse people because like they'll say, okay, that means you still go by he, right? So that's basically he, him, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I just kick myself because like, stupid, why did you even say it then? So it can be confusing sometimes. You thought you were they, them for a good while before you were like, you're just gonna test they, she to see if you like it, and you liked it enough to switch to she, they. I mean, that's nice to hear. I think if like testing the waters works for people, like, you know, saying, I have no idea what gender I identify as, so I'm gonna try this gender, and I'm gonna see if I like it. And you like try it for a little while, you tell people to call you that, and like, you know, if you like it, then you accept it. And I think when that works for people, that's really cool, because that's a systematic way of overcoming gender dysphoria. So yeah, that's cool. Bro. Feel like you mostly have everything figured out in terms of gender, hopefully. That's really good to hear. Yeah, it's nice to, like, you know, figure your shit out and be able to, like, just go back to normal. But you said you're not out, so is it difficult to, like, still go by, you know, he, him, or whatever you previously identified as in real life? Is that, like, difficult? Gone through questioning phases where you're like, oh my god, am I really through? Yeah, because, like, even if you systematically do it, I see how it could probably be sometimes really hard to tell. So That's a painful death. I'm not happy that I died there, but whatever. That is officially a grand total of 80 drop attempts. It can definitely get difficult, but you've been hiding it for long enough that it's not the worst. You sort of get a bit more used to it at some point, but it still isn't great. Yeah. I'm betting, like, there's a point where, like, you don't hate it as much. But it's still, I doubt that it ever, like, truly feels normal. I'm guessing it just goes from, ugh, to, well, that's incorrect. From, like, you know, really feeling like shit about it to just, like, you know, thinking, well, that is the incorrect way to refer to me, and people just call me that. Whatever. I think this is a good thing because it's like showing people are accepting their gender identities, but in the past 3 years, a lot of people in my friend group have come out as trans. Specifically, like, male to female. There's, like, you, there's Bonnie, and there's this guy, there's this person, Stuffs. I called them Guy. I'm an idiot. This person, Stuffs, who goes by she, her now. A lot of people who are, you know, changing. And I think that's cool to see, because it's like people, it shows that people evolve, right? People can change. People can figure themselves out. People can, like, you know, evolve. So, I think it's neat to, like, observe that happen. And it seems pretty sudden too. Like, the people who have come out, like, are people I never would have expected to be trans. So it's pretty crazy. It's a bit weird because sometimes you're like, things would be so much easier if you were a cis woman, but then you also like being trans. I get that. I have a IRL trans friend who has fully come out. Like a fully trans woman. And she... yeah. I can see she definitely sees some benefits in, like, you know, being trans and stuff. Because, like, you know, I bet there is a good feeling you get when you finally reach, like, full acceptance. And that's not something any cis woman ever, like, encounters in that specific way. So, I don't know. Like, you know, transitioning is a character arc, and if you were cis in the first place, you never would have had that character arc. You don't really know when you're going to come out with the current state of the country, but at least your family is supportive of the LGBTQ community. That is great to hear. Yeah, I know people who don't have supportive parents in that regard. It really sucks. It, like, really sucks to see. Like, people who are literally scared to come out because they know their parents would, like, be against it. So it makes me happy every time I, like, hear someone say, like, my parents are supportive. My parents are, like, mentally sane people. They haven't lost their marbles yet. And I think the current state of the country also has like a bit of a play on it. Like, I think I live in a pretty, I'm not gonna say like which state I live in, but I live in a pretty democratic state. And I very rarely encounter people who like strongly oppose LGBTQ. Just because the state I live in is kind of isolated from the current political sphere of America right now, and kind of pushes back against it. But like, I definitely see where you're coming from when it comes to like online identity. Even though you say like that's where you're out and you're not out in real life. Like, I've seen examples of, you know, coming out going wrong because like the internet is the internet and people are brutal pieces of shit sometimes. Not to like discourage anyone if they want to, but don't expect like to be completely free from the transphobes, because they do exist. And if they have a computer and a router, then they can talk to you. I don't think there's any inherent problem with having a certain political affiliation. Like, if you're conservative and you have transphobic thoughts, but you're not, like, mean to trans people and you keep that shit to yourself, I don't care. I don't hate you. I only hate you if you, like, actually take time out of your life to be a dick. To be a bigoted dick towards people who are just trying to, like, survive. And as I said, it really, really sucks that just what gender you identify as has become, like, a political issue. Like, that really sucks. $81 times 2. I was not nervous. Okay, that is very random. But, yeah, I expected to die there a second time. That pink orb is brutal. Holy shit. My first good attempt to this stream. Alright. Wow. Okay. I'm happy about that. Because that's another reasonable death. Like, if I die there like 5 more times, I'll be upset. But, like, dying there twice is not crazy. It's more a problem with people up top for you. You live in an area that leads more blue, but you've definitely met some people. Some of your neighbors are interesting. Even the ones who are not bigoted are still interesting. Yeah, being, like, bigoted doesn't always mean like actively hating on other people. It can sometimes just mean you're a little old and you're a little out of touch and you don't exactly understand what it means. I've definitely met some people like that who've, like, some very old people who've said like America was a country designed for man or whatever. Like, not in a way to make, like, an actual point about that shit, but just in passing, like, saying something faintly, like, outdated. Gotta go, but hope the rest of the session goes well. You have fun talking. Thank you for popping in, Vegetable Soup. I definitely had a very fun time talking to you. We may both be neurodivergent, but I believe we are both decent conversationalists. Have a good one. I'm probably gonna stream for like at most 20 more minutes. Probably much less than that. Bird clock. I just in my throat. Fuck off. I thought I didn't go upside down there and it threw me off. Bit of a waste. Again, dude, what is wrong with me? That was so stupid. God fucking damn it. I just beat it. I just fucking beat it. Holy fucking shit. I just beat Aether. I just beat Aether. No, instant replay was off. But I just beat Aether. Holy shit. I would scream, but people are sleeping. Oh my god. One sec. Okay. It's unfortunate instant replay was off, but it's okay. Wow. Alright. I don't know what to feel right now. I guess I'll count attempts. So 4402 19557 10987 34,946 attempts. Wow. Yeah, no, there you go. That's that. That is Aether. My hardest demon. Okay. I feel like I'm in denial. Two in a row. Nope. Okay, so yeah, my hardest is no longer Carcano. Aether is my hardest. Okay. That's kind of crazy. I was not nervous at all. Like, I am in complete denial right now. I just don't fucking know. So 16 streams, 34,946 attempts. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop. So, yeah, thank you people for watching. There's Aether. I don't know what I'll do after this, but completion will be out tomorrow. Yeah, bye.